I wonder, which are your questions and your predictions. If you want to make like a column for yourself, that's fine. And when you're done getting it ready, just go ahead and put your pencil down and we'll wait for everyone. And just leave a little bit of room between each vocab word so that you guys can go and write the definition and we do the definitions. Yes. Yeah, that's what we've been doing. Right, you wait till the end to do your predictions, but your questions can, if you come up with a question or wonder something while I'm reading, go ahead and you're going to be writing that down. So your vocab and your questions are during the reading, and your predictions are after reading. So who remembers how the last chapter ends? We're on chapter 10. How many chapters are in this book?
13.
13. So we're on chapter 10. That means we have 3 more. I think we'll be able to finish it before I leave.
Spring break.
Yeah, before spring break.
We do leave on spring break, so.
Alright. So what happened in chapter 9? What happened in chapter 9? If you're not done writing, keep writing what's on the board. Gabrielle.
What's his name? No. Klaus said, Klaus was trying, hold up. Sunny was in a cage.
Sunny was in a cage.
And they, what's her name?
Violet.
Violet was tying her hair in a ribbon because she was thinking of
Right.
a man.
So Sunny was in a cage, and where is he in the cage? She, sorry.
On like a creepy tower.
On the creepy tower, but not in the tower. Where?
Outside the tower.
Outside.
Hanging out the window.
Dangling. That's that vocab word. Dangling. So yeah, hanging out the window. And Violet at the end, the very, very, very end of the chapter, Violet was staring. Where was she staring? She was staring at the tower. And how was her hair, like Gabrielle said? Tied up in a ribbon. And what does that mean?
She's thinking.
She's thinking. She's in deep thought. She's trying to figure out. So what did we say she was thinking about? What is she trying to do?
It's a marriage. To get Sunny. Yeah.
So how is she gonna get Sunny out of there? That's what she's trying to figure out. So the story starts by how Olaf tells them the only way that you can save Sunny is how?
Violet needs to marry Count Olaf.
Violet needs to marry Olaf.
Not Klaus.
So is everybody ready? Did everyone get their chart down?
Yes. No.
Okay, so if you're not, keep working on it. And then if you are ready, we'll start. a definition of who you think they might be.
Where?
On your paper.
Like next to it.
But I want you to pay attention to while I'm reading to be for these words. So what are we doing while I'm reading?
Listening.
And doing what?
Vocab and I wonder.
If you know the word.
Right, and then I want you to be paying close attention for these words and how they're used in
You can
the
add while you're reading, you can add more words.
Right, and you can add more words while you're reading. While I'm reading.
Wait. I sharpened your pencil. Go sit down.
Okay, so I'll start. Chapter 10. That night, Klaus was the Baudelaire orphan sleeping fitfully in the bed, and Violet was the Baudelaire orphan staying up, working by the light of the moon all day. The two siblings had wandered around the house doing the assigned chores and scarcely speaking to each other. Klaus was too tired and despondent to speak, and Violet was holed up in the inventing area of her mind, too busy planning to talk. When night approached, Violet gathered up the curtains that had been Sunny's bed and brought them to the door to the tower stairs, where the enormous assistant of Count Olaf, the one who looked like neither a man nor a woman, was standing guard. Violet asked whether she could bring the blankets to her sister to make her more comfortable during the night. The enormous creature merely looked at Violet with its blank white eyes and shook its head, then dismissed her with a silent gesture. Violet knew, of course, that Sunny was too terrified to be comforted by a handful of draperies, but she hoped that she would be allowed a few minutes to hold her and tell her that everything would turn out all right. Also, she wanted to do something known in the crime industry as casing the joint. Casing a joint means observing a particular location in order to formulate a plan. For instance, if you are a bank robber, although I hope you aren't, you might go to the bank a few days before you plan to rob it. Perhaps wearing a disguise, you would look around the bank and observe security guards, cameras, and other obstacles, so you could plan how to avoid capture or death during your burglary. Violet, a law-abiding citizen, was not planning to rob a bank, but she was planning to rescue Sunny and was hoping to catch a glimpse of the tower room in which her sister was held prisoner, so as to make her plan more easily. But it appeared that she wasn't going to be able to case the joint after all. So what does case the joint mean?
To go to the place that you're going to investigate the place.
Right. So if you're planning on doing something in a certain area, you're gonna go check that area out before the day that the plan is supposed to be put into action, so that you could see like who's there, where are the exits, what's there. Violet had very few materials with which to invent something, and she didn't want to wander around her house looking for more fear arousing the suspicions of Count Olaf and his troop. But she had enough to build a rescuing device. Above the window was a sturdy metal rod from which the curtains had hung, and Violet took it down. Using one of the rocks Olaf had left in a pile in the corner, she broke the curtain rod into 2 pieces. She then bent each piece of rod into several sharp angles, leaving tiny cuts on her hands as she did so. Violet took down the painting.
Ms. Gorin, please pick up your students. Ms. Gorin, please pick up your students from the lunchroom. Thank you.
She removed the wire and used it to connect the 2 pieces together. Violet had now made what looked like a large metal spider. She then went over to the cardboard box and took out the ugliest of clothes that Mrs. Poe had purchased. The outfits the Baudelaire orphans would never wear, no matter how desperate they were. And working quickly and quietly, she began to tear into these long, narrow strips and to tie these strips together. Among Violet's many useful skills was a vast knowledge of different types of knots. The particular knot she was using was called the Devil's Tongue. A group of female Finnish pirates invented it back in the 15th century and named it the devil's tongue because it twisted this way and that in a most complicated and eerie way. The devil's tongue was a very useful knot, and when Violet tied the cloth strips together, end to end, it formed a sort of rope. As she worked, she remembered something her parents had said to her when Klaus was born, and again when they brought Sonny home from the hospital. "You are the eldest Baudelaire child," they said kindly but firmly. "And as the eldest, it'll always be your responsibility to look after your younger siblings. Promise us that you will always watch out for them and make sure they don't get into trouble." Violet remembered her promise and thought of Klaus, whose bruised face still looked sore, and Sonny dangling from the top of a tower like a flag, and began working faster. And even though Count Olaf was of course the cause of all this misery, Violet felt as if she had broken her promise to her parents and vowed to make it right. Eventually, using enough of the ugly clothing, Violet had a rope that she hoped was over just 30 feet long. So remember, you vocab, I wonder, and then predictions at the end. What do you think that Violet's going to do with this rope that she's created that's over 30 feet long?
Wait. Oh yeah.
She invented a rope. What is she going to do with this rope? What do you think she's going to do? What do you predict she's going to do with this rope? Camry?
I think that she's going she's going to throw it up there and somehow like make it tie or something. Like put it up there and then like I don't know, maybe Sonny will like hide it with her tooth because she likes biting stuff or something and get it, and then Violet will find a way to climb up, get Sonny and slide back down.
How many of you think that she's going to use this rope to climb up the outside of the tower and get into the window? So how many of you think that?
How's it getting tied on me?
How's it going to stick to the window? Well, we'll find out. Yeah,
Should probably put some glue.
we'll find out in a few how she might get it to stick. But how many of you agree with Camry?
Wait, we're not done with the chapter.
How many of you disagree? So, Parsha. So, Filipino, why do you disagree? What do you think she's going to do with the rope?
I disagree.
No?
No, Stephanie.
Okay, Stephanie.
It's kind of like hers, but I think she's gonna like, I think she's gonna climb it, and they're trying to open a cave, so she could get a sliding top.
Right, but that's what Camry said. So you agree with Camry.
Yeah.
So that was an agree. Who disagrees? Let's hear why they disagree. So we have
I
kind of.
disagree.
Christian, why do you disagree?
I disagree because Sonny, if Sonny like bites the rope and Violet climbs the rope, I feel like Sonny's gonna like let go.
Okay, so he found maybe a flaw in that prediction. What if Sonny bites the rope and then falls? So maybe that's not what she wants him to do. Well, let's find out. What she had made was called a grappling hook, which is something used for climbing up the sides of buildings, usually for a nefarious purpose. There's one of our words, nefarious purpose.
That was a word.
So it says, what she made was called a grappling hook, which is something used for climbing up the sides of buildings, usually a nefarious purpose. Using the metal end to hook onto something at the top of a tower and the rope to aid her climb, Violet hoped to reach the top of the tower, untied Sonny's cage, and climb back down. This was, of course, a very risky plan, both because it was dangerous and because she made the grappling hook herself instead of purchasing it at a store that sold such things. So if she made it herself, it makes it what? Homemade. Homemade. Is it as dependable as
No.
one that you buy?
No.
Like a harpoon.
But a grappling hook was all Violet could think of to make without a proper inventing language. The time grappling hook and tiptoed out of the room. And once outside, Violet realized her plan was even more difficult than she had thought. The night was quiet, which would mean she would have to make practically no noise at all. The night had also a slight breeze, and when she pictured herself swinging in the breeze, clinging to a rope made of ugly clothing, she almost gave up entirely. And the night was dark, so it was hard to see where she could toss the grappling hook and have the metal arms hook onto something. But standing there shivering in her nightgown, Violet knew she had to try. Using her right hand, she threw the grappling hook as high as she could and waited to see if it would catch onto something. The hook made a loud noise as it hit the tower, but it didn't stick to anything and came crashing back down. Her heart pounding, Violet stood still, wondering if Count Olaf or one of his accomplices would come and investigate. But nobody did. And after a few moments, Violet started swinging the hook over her head like a lasso and tried again. The grappling hook hit the tower twice as it bounced back to the floor. Violet waited again, listening for footsteps, but all she heard was her own terrified pulse. She decided to try one more time. The grappling hook hit the tower and fell down again, hitting Violet hard in the shoulder. One of the arms tore her nightgown and cut through her skin. Biting down on her hand to keep from crying out of pain, Violet felt the place in her shoulder where she had been struck, and it was wet with blood. Her arm throbbed in pain. At this point in the proceedings, if I were Violet, I would have given up. But just as she was about to turn around and go inside the house, she pictured how scared Sunny must be. And ignoring the pain in her shoulder, Violet used her right hand to throw the hook again. And then it was the usual clang sound stopped halfway through, and Violet saw in the dim light of the moon that the hook wasn't falling back down. And nervously, she gave the rope a good yank, and it stayed put. The grappling hook had worked. Her feet touching the side of the stone tower and her hands grasping the rope, Violet closed her eyes and began to climb. Never daring to look around, she pulled herself up the tower, hand over hand, all the time keeping in mind her promise to her parents and the horrible things Count Olaf would do if his villainous plan had worked. The evening wind blew harder and harder as she climbed higher and higher, and several times Violet had stopped climbing as the rope moved in the wind. She was certain that at any moment the cloth would tear or the hook would slip, and Violet would be sent tumbling to her death. But thanks to her adroit inventing skills, so that is one of those words, adroit inventing skills. The word adroit here means skillful. Everything worked the way it was supposed to work, and suddenly, Violet found herself feeling a piece of metal instead of a cloth rope. She opened her eyes and saw her sister Sunny, who was looking at her frantically and trying to say something past the strip of tape. Violet had arrived at the top of the tower, right at the window where Sunny was tied. The eldest Baudelaire orphan was about to grab her sister's cage and begin her descent when she saw something that made her stop. It was the spidery end of the grappling hook, which after several attempts had finally stuck onto something on the tower. Violet had guessed during her climb that it had found some notch in the stone or a part of the window or perhaps a piece of furniture inside the tower room and stuck there. But that wasn't what the hook had stuck on. Violet's grappling hook had stuck on another hook. What hook did it stick on?
That guy's hook.
Who has a hook hand? Accomplice. It was one of the hooks on the hook-handed man, and in his other hook, Violet saw, was glinting in the moonlight as it reached right toward her. That's the end.
No.
Left us
Okay.
on a cliffhanger.
So,
That's
raise your
scary.
hand if you have a vocab word. That was not one of these. So we'll do Dulce Lapida, Leslie, Giselle, and Araya. What was it? Vent. Giselle. Throb. Thrive.
Thrive. THRIBE.
dental.
Or denture.
I don't think
No.
it was in there. The first page.
Why don't you read it?
Venting. I'll give you the book. You do that. And Araya, what was your word?
Holes.
What was it?
It's hole, not holes. Hole. Wait, holes.
Pulse. When it said pulsing.
No,
Like pulse. Pulse.
I don't
That was
know.
a word in there. I think that's what you mean.
I don't know.
You actually have
It's
Okay. Despondent. Who knows what despondent means? Despondent. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we'll do vocab and then you'll take a minute and write your. While we're doing vocab, take a minute and write down your predictions. What do you think's gonna happen with the hook-handed man when after he caught her? What's gonna happen next? We're gonna do that. So you can either write down your prediction or you can just remember it. Okay? So despondent. Who knows what despondent means? Stephanie? Oh, so that's good. You're thinking of respondent, which is like responding. And you're thinking the opposite of that, like not saying anything. So it's not that, but I can see why you think that, because respondent is very similar to that. Despondent means you're actually feeling hopeless. Why would they use this word in this chapter? So they didn't know, they were feeling despondent. They didn't know, they were feeling hopeless. They didn't know if they were going to get study back or how they were. Nefarious. Nefarious. Hmm? Yeah, they said it quite a few times. That means evil or wicked.
cruel.
Cruel could be another one. Nefarious. Accomplices. Who knows what accomplices are? Josh, what is accomplice?
Assistance.
Assisting in what?
Yep.
Are you assisting in good things?
Bad.
Yeah.
Well, you need an accomplice.
So kind of like assisting in some sort of crime. She didn't want who to be her accomplice in this? Klaus. Because she didn't want Klaus to get in trouble.
She promised to her parents before they died that she would keep her
Right. And adroit. That was at the end of the chapter. Adroit. They said her invention was adroit. Her invention was adroit.
It didn't work.
No, not that. Adroit. Mighty? No, not.
Did it work?
Dahlia?
Useful.
Useful would be one way to say it, but it's more skillful. And they said it in there, clever. So her invention was clever. They said it was cleverly skillful.
I remember.
Skillful is right. And then these are your words. So joint. What's a joint? Who knows what a joint is? So remember the phrase was, what do you do with the phrase they use that in? Where you have to go in and check out the room? Casing the joint.
That means like putting a case together.
Casing replacing the joint. Remember we talked about what does that mean?
Like putting like a crime together.
Where you're going to go where? Before you do the crime, what are you going to do?
Oh, look investigate.
Look, go to the place that you're going to commit that crime and check to see what's going on over there, right? So a joint is the place that you go to. Vent. What's a vent?
Vent.
Yeah, you're looking right at it. Like an air vent.
Yeah.
Thrived. Thrived. Who knows what thrive means?
Oh, one of
We said Giovanni was thriving in math. What does that mean?
Oh, getting growing.
Growing, he's excelling.
Succeeding.
Succeeding. And pulse. What does pulse mean?
Like your heartbeat. Your heartbeat.
So it was so quiet that all she felt was her pulse. Her heartbeat.
Pulse is like,
Yeah.
it's like your heartbeat.
Who has questions? I wonder. Any questions while I was reading that you came up with? Any questions? Anyone that hasn't? Stephanie will ask. And Aldo. Okay, we'll do Stephanie and Aldo. What's your question?
Is she what's it called?
Violet.
Going to rob the Wait, no. That's not. Yeah.
Is Count Olaf going to rob the bank? So if his plan doesn't work, do you think he's going to rob the bank?
Yes.
Do you think? Make a prediction. No?
Seen it.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Aldo, what's your question?
I wonder if the cut on Violet was big or small.
Oh, the cut. So the hook went up and it came right back down and it hit her
Shoulders.
shoulder.
Oh,
And
your
it
cut's gonna get
hard enough that she cut herself.
It tore through her nightgown and through her skin.
Tore through her nightgown, it tore through her skin. She was bleeding.
I feel so
So yeah, how big was that cut? Probably wasn't so big because she threw it up again, but she did it through the pain anyway. So maybe it was big.
You
Have to watch the TV show and see.
Well, when
Yeah.
you're saving your little sister, you don't feel the pain.
Because you feel the pain of her getting hurt.
Yeah. All right, predictions. We'll do 2 predictions. What do you think will happen with the man?
Wait, I can't see exactly what
Giselle, so if you watched the shows, you're not predicting because we already know you know what's happening.
I know
So
what.
if you went home and watched the Netflix show, you're not predicting.
Josh, you watched the movie.
I don't even watch.
If you watch the movie, you're not predicting.
I watched what we already read.
I only watched the fake
So raise your hand if you want to predict what's going to happen with her and the handed man.
It's only 4 people.
No one else wants to predict? Okay, so we'll do Camry, Aldo, and Josh. Oh, we'll do Camry and Giselle and Josh. Aldo, you talk about it. Okay, Camry, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, Jacqueline.
I
Camry,
think that she's going to get Sunny, and Klaus is going to when she comes back with Sunny, Klaus is going to see the cut, and he's probably going to know that she did a plan or something to get Sunny, because how else would she have got Sunny? I'm pretty sure Sunny didn't just appear in her hand. He wouldn't have thought that.
So Klaus is going to see her cut. He's going to know what's happening. How far do you think she's going to make it? The hook-handed man already caught her. So Josh, what do you think is going to happen?
Okay, so I think she's just gonna like try to grab the change and then just let go of the rope. But then when she gets close to the ground, she just grabs the rope back and then just saves me. And then he just grabs Klaus and they just leave.
Without Sunny?
No, I
He
said
said
with
with
Sunny.
Sunny. He said with Sunny. Jacqueline, what do you think is going to happen?
I think she's gonna take him, hide him,
Okay.
and make like a little puppet of him,
Oh, and replace him?
yeah.
So then they can't tell? That's a really good prediction. I like that. So she might like pull him out and put something else in there. So nobody-
out.
Yeah, that's
Pull
what
her out. Sorry.
Why not?
What do you think?
Like at
guys. Okay.